Oh, let's give it up for Vaughn putting this together. This is good. Oh, my goodness. Fred, you all are going to love his work. He's behind the camera. Fred, Part 5 Media. Part 5? Yes. Oh, my dear friend Elizabeth, she's on my social media tonight. Elizabeth Evelyn, thank you for being here. And my friend Hope came to support, so thank you. Appreciate you all being here. Oh, my name is Monica Hardin, and my topic, I know Vaughn was like, really? I said, oh, I know what I want to talk about. Big hair, big boobs, big problems. He's like, oh, goodness gracious. But that is like, this is me now. I ain't always look like this. I said, I haven't always looked like this, but I have a story to tell. So I don't know if you're from here. You know, Louisville's the biggest small city. But this is what I look like most of the time for the past, 15 years. And throughout my life, I've spent time. I've always been the type of person who's been in the spotlight. And what I can say about that is that what a gift that has been. But clearly you can tell I've had a transition in my life, and things look differently like they do for many of us, right? A lot of people mark time, you know, before the pandemic, after the pandemic. Well, I've always had a lot of stuff going on in my life. And it wasn't my first difficult time. However, during the pandemic is when I started learning about gratitude. And so in order to tell you my story, for you to get it, you needed to see this as you're looking at this, and then I want to take you all the way back to show you how I arrived to this point, being a news anchor, one of my lifelong dreams. And I was one of those people who always was saying, one day when I, right? That was like the way I live life. Okay, when I get here, when I achieve this, when I achieve that. And the beautiful thing is that I was inspired as a kid, and that one day, that fairy tale thinking, that was a beautiful gift to me to survive a lot of difficulties growing up. And my first big inspiration that changed my life was seeing this woman on TV one night. I don't know if you know her, but I remember, yep, this is actually Debbie Turner, Miss America 1990. And I remember being at home on a Friday night, hanging out. We didn't really know what Miss America was about. I asked my dad if we could watch, and we started watching, and that night I watched Debbie Turner play the xylophone, do all the competitions, and when I saw her be crowned, I saw myself for the first time, and that inspired me. And I remember that next day I went to my best friend across the street, and I'm like, one day I'm gonna be Miss America, and she laughed at me. However, it gave me a dream in my heart, an inspiration, something to aim towards, something to work towards, and that's exactly what I did. And let me show you. Now, I imagine a lot of people probably think if you see me as, you know, news anchor Monica Hardin, and you see my dream of being Miss America, you might imagine that my mother would look like a Felicia Rashad, right? Or maybe even like a Debbie Turner. That's why I'm like, oh, people don't like, you know, you just see what you see. And, but actually this was little Monica who had the dream. And the cuteness. I still feel like her some of the time, that's what we're gonna talk about, gratitude, but I didn't grow up with a silver spoon. I didn't grow up with privilege, but I like to say, you know, hear people talking about wanting to be influencers today. Well, I say some people, right, want to be an influencer. Some people are born with the ability to influence and that gift. And I feel like I've been given that gift. Now I shouldn't, right? My mom was blind. My dad was a janitor. We didn't have a lot of money. We had a lot of things that we went without growing up, but I had that inspiration and I had a dream, and that was such a gift to me, to be able to work through life, to be able to endure the not have enoughs, all that good stuff. And so this is little Monica, so remember her as we go by, and this little girl right here, determined, had that grit, she knew she had a goal, and so, again, one day I'm gonna be Miss America. Okay, in order to do that, I have to do this, I have to keep my nose clean, I have to listen, I have to stay out of trouble. I have to get good grades. How many kids, their first day in high school, they go to the college and career counselor to say, hi, I introduced myself, Elaine Salvo, she will tell you today. I said, hi, my name is Monica Hardin, and I need to know about every scholarship coming in here because I'm gonna have to pay for school. First day of school, and I don't even know where that came from, but that was me. And so what I wanna say is that everything I've set out in my life to do, I've been fortunate enough to at least touch, become close to it, or achieve. I went to Miss America and won Miss Kentucky in 2001 and represented our great Commonwealth of Kentucky. Yes. But I'm telling you what, but I wanted to win the pageant. That I did not want to just be, some people are happy to be in places, right? Again, I was like, okay, if I win, I will make $250,000 at least. I also had my own little marketing plan. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be on the cover of Mary Claire. I'm gonna expand the Miss America brand, right? Because this was gonna get me out. I was gonna take care of my family and start a whole new life. And this was the first, I said big hair, big boobs, big problems. Well, I lost Miss America. You might say, oh, what place did you come in? 0 place, no place, you know what I mean? But that was devastating for me. And honestly, it's taken me probably till now to be able to say, you know what? Okay, this is just part of my journey. But remember, I was always like, oh, one day win, right? Okay, when I win Miss America, when I graduate from college, then everything will be perfect. And you all know, we're all where we are in our journeys, right? And today, what I know is that life is a journey. And it's enjoying the journey, right, as best we can along the way and having fun. Monica right here, I was saving myself. I was about business. I was in survival mode. And I took care of business. And I'm grateful for that opportunity and that experience. So that was the first big change in my life that made me go, woo, goodness. All right, there is no arrival point. I'm never gonna arrive. And that was a shocker, but I moved on, graduated college, all paid for because I told y'all I needed to get those scholarships, and I did. I went on and got married and had kids and all that good stuff. I'm the girl who's did all the things you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it. Okay, and then 2016 hit. And this is my Grant Stu. Y'all gotta meet him. This man came into my life and became a friend and a mentor. We went to prison together, literally, to go share with people in prison though. They're like, oh, y'all got quiet then. She don't look like that kind of girl, no. But January 2016, I lost my Gramps dude. And that was a blow. In March of 2016, this is my mom, who our relationship really changed the last 10 years of her life. She was in a nursing home, and I'd been off work for about 2 weeks before she passed away. That's the last picture we took together. And I was with her when she took her last breath. She died of stage 4 metastatic breast cancer after she was dropped in her nursing home, and it activated everything. And that, yeah. I didn't realize I was always my mom's eyes. I didn't realize, regardless of how my mother showed up in my life and how she mothered me, that I still needed my mom. And so she passed away in March. And then, my wedding was the bomb. We had in a little church. I married a pastor's kid, 500 people, all this stuff. Beautiful wedding. 2017, I realized that things just weren't shaking out. I wanted this fairy tale life, and I signed up for it. But my fairy tale was over. And so my marriage started falling apart. So we got 16, y'all with me? 16, 17, 18. And then this picture right here. I was on my way to take my kids to my newly named ex-husband. So y'all follow me. June 6th, 2018, my divorce is made final. June 20th, dropping my kids off at camp, I get a phone call with my breast cancer diagnosis. That was the last time I hugged my ex-husband, and I said, will you take this picture of me and the girls, because they didn't know what was happening, but I wanted to mark this moment in time. Everything I worked towards, everything that I loved, seemed like it was gone, getting destroyed. And what did I do? I just had to do me. I used to be so concerned about what other people thought of me, but it's therapeutic for me to document, to save things. And so I called my friend up and I said, you know what, I want to get a picture. I want to do a photo shoot before I get this mastectomy. And so we did a beautiful photo shoot. And what I recognized today, that was before surgery, and I had her come the day of my surgery. And this is the stuff you don't see, right? Everybody wears the pink ribbons and blah, and I wore pink for a month on air, to support the cause. But now it's me in the bed. And I knew I had to document it because I knew once I got through it, I wouldn't be able to believe it. And so my friend came and she documented the day after I had a double mastectomy. So remember, June 6th, June 20th, I'm diagnosed, July 19th. And I had to make this big announcement. I didn't have to. I chose to make a big announcement on television to let people know I was going to be gone for a while. Woo! What a journey. So when everything goes not so good, it starts to turn south. And this was me. I'm going to leave this up for a second. I never felt so alone in my life. And I was searching for answers, seeking support, and out and about in life, thank goodness, I ran into someone and I kept hearing them talk about this gratitude list and how it's helped change their life. And I heard about it for a while. You know, you just got your kids in places and you're overhearing people talking about things. And finally, one day, I was like, okay, I'm watching this person. And I'm like, I kind of like what they got. Let me ask them about this gratitude list. Because I needed to not stay in this place. And so that's when I met my friend, Elizabeth. And she was the one always talking about this gratitude list and how it's helped change things. And if you have children or not, it doesn't matter. Everybody goes through life differently, but we have children like in the same age category. And so I asked her about it. And I asked her if she sent me her gratitude list and explained to me the whole process. And so she did. And so again, y'all know I'm the rule follower. I need to know exactly how things go. And so I asked Elizabeth, I'm like, okay, so what do I need to do? Like, you know, she said, just 3 things and just text me. And I'm like, okay, now what else? You know, she's like, no. You text me your 3 things and I'll send you my list. And so she did. And what I learned was that, number one, my list was never 3 long, was it? No, it was never 3 long. But I started this practice, it's been almost 4 years ago. And in the gratitude list, the bottom line initially was just to do it. Now, when I thought about a gratitude list initially, you know, you think about like Thanksgiving, right? We're all just saying what we're grateful for, you know, or I was a church girl, and it's like, all right, you know, you hear people the older folks giving their testimonies. I just want to thank God, you know, for my hands, you know, all the things. But this gratitude list, it can be whatever you want it to be. But for me and the women in my ecosystem, so to speak, it has become something that has been so deep and so, I'm always like, oh, in my gut, it has transformed and changed my life. And I'll tell you why. You know, at first it was just me exchanging one with one friend, Elizabeth. And then I heard about other people doing a gratitude list. So I'd ask them if they wanted to exchange. And what the gratitude list has done for me is it's given me an opportunity to pause in this high-paced world. Because I feel like half the time in motherhood and in life, my head's spinning around like a bobblehead. Like that's like Monica's walking around, you know what I mean? You're just trying to manage everything. This has given me the ability to take a pause. And it's also given me the ability to gain a perspective. There's no rule on like how you need to write your list, what time you need to do it. You need to do what works best for you. For me, usually when I have the children to bed and it's quiet, is when I go and I sit down to write my list. And as I'm starting to write, and it doesn't have to be, this is just my process. I start with, you know, an affirmation about me and my children and how grateful I am just for like the provisions that are for me and my kids. And then I just kind of review my day. And what's different about this gratitude practice, and I've learned from the other people that I exchange with, and I was challenged early on to include the people, places, or things that might be most challenging to me in a situation in the list. That changes perspective, and it empowers me to see things differently, to know that I have a choice and how I look at things. And so it helps me to pause, it helps me to gain perspective. Oh yeah, is it working? There we go. And it helps me to pivot. And so to pivot, it just changes the way we do things, right? So you all saw that picture of me by myself. We all can get to a place of loneliness. People are talking about this loneliness, you know, epidemic or what have you. Well, there are a lot of lonely people in the world, but we have choices still. And so this practice has empowered me to have choices. It's given me connections. At one point I had 12 people I was exchanging gratitude lists with, which that was like a job, right? That was, I mean, because depending on, I'm wordy. Some people aren't, but it's like, oh, literally it was like a job reading through these, you know, and you're acknowledging their lists and stuff. Today I have about 6 people I exchange with. And what it does is, even though I don't talk to these people every day, I have one gratitude buddy that is in LA, and it's so funny. Let me tell you this. The ages of the people we're exchanging with, you have from early 40s to 70s, right? 70, almost 80, which is really, really cool. Just in my six, it's incredible. But it's like, I can tell you who's gonna send theirs at like 7 o'clock. You know, we all have like our own little routines and stuff. And if I'm the first one, it's like, oh, everything's off in the world. But this is our vibe, right? Our flow in our community. So we're not calling each other up. But one thing we know for sure is that we're gonna get that list. And what kind of community does this create? So if I know I'm expecting a list from you and I don't hear from you, what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna check in. And it might be that you just missed it that day. But that's community, that's connection. And that, it's non-invasive, right? Because sometimes we are in places by ourselves, but we need to know somebody's there. And that's what this gratitude practice has done for me. Consistency. My whole life, I was looking for something consistent. That was that happily ever after that I wanted. I wanted to get there one day. This practice, because I do, you know, I want all my gold stars. So I do it every single day. And I know that my people in my group are depending on me. And that consistency is healthy and it's beneficial. And also, my gratitude list, woo, you put it all out there. It's not like, okay, you can put whatever, I'm grateful for my food or my drinks. But my group that I exchange with, we choose to go gut level. And we get in there and you're gonna see words sometimes. It's called, it's like a backhanded compliment, right? But it's like a backhanded gratitude. You're like, oh, thank God my kids are in bed. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. And that's the truth, right? And it's okay, because you have to meet yourself where you are in the gratitude practice. There's no judgment. There's no right or wrong way to do it, but it enables you to have a voice. And for me, it's helped me to find my voice so I can fully blossom into who I am today. And it has helped me to be courageous because, you know, courage, that's what it means. It means to speak from the heart. And I'm grateful that I can do that now with my people. And I'm gonna show y'all We's little app. And so this is like my streak from Sunday. Every Sunday it gives me a little party, and I love a little party, right? I love my stars. But 981 days consistently, I have written my gratitude list. You see that? Yeah, 1,033. And really it's like 35 now, but what a gift that is. But you don't have to do it on an app. You can do it on your phone, text it. And you can start just by yourself, but find a friend. But the key is they've got to exchange it back, because if you get deep, you can't just be telling everybody all your stuff, right? It's that exchange. And it's not about people asking you questions. It's about just sharing that space for you to be and to connect and use your voice. And what a gift that is. And I'm telling you what, when I told my friend I was speaking on gratitude, they were so hyped. I didn't think anybody would like really care. But it's like all the rage right now. Even literally 2 days ago, I get an email from Oprah talking about get your gratitude journal, right? And so it doesn't matter how you do it, but a lot of people know, and a lot of people have been talking about it forever, gratitude has life-changing powers because it does change your perspective. And I love what it says here. It says, what you focus on expands, and when you focus on the goodness in life, you create more. And I'm telling you what, I know that now, because as I write my list, some nights I'm like, oh God, they're gonna hate me, because it just gets longer and longer. And what a gift that is, because instead of worrying, instead of being depressed, instead of being alone, I'm counting the gifts in my life. And it has definitely made things much, much better. And the impact it's having in my life. Those little gratitude jars, like I said, doesn't matter how you do it. Those are my daughters. They're 12 and 9 years old. And what a gift that is, right? Like whoever's around us, whatever we're doing to take care of ourselves, it's impacting those that are around us. And that is a beautiful gift. And so, yep, today, behind the camera, I don't look like I used to 2 years ago when I was still anchoring the news, and that's okay, right? But now, the curly hair, right? Hey, my crew, look, Fred and Elizabeth, we are like the triple team. But it's like, it's okay. Big hair, different, free, what a gift it is. And people, yep, I wanted my happily ever after, you know, honey, I thought I'd be, you know, everything would be the same for forever. But I'm embracing the changes in life. That's my neighbor, Miss Jane, who is like a grandmother to my kids, who will show up at any time. That's my sister. Those are my girls. They're so sweet. And I just want to show you all some of the gifts of people in my life. My sister chick there. I mean, all the people, my little brother, who have showed up for me in my life. So where I was just, you know, wishing and hoping upon a star once upon a time that things would just get perfect one day, gratitude has made me stop doing that. I don't have to wish anymore. And I want to encourage you, if you're looking for something to change your life that's easy and simple, that you can start now, try gratitude. Try gratitude. And wait, there was one little picture. It was gonna be. Oh no! I'm all. Oh no! Go back. Oh, I'm all up in the wrong thing now. Well, okay, it was a really cute picture of my girls, but I'm done. So thank you. Try gratitude. Jump into it. Thank you. Oh.
I don't even know how to get back to it neither, so go ahead.
But it's all love, because y'all, let me tell you what, I will give you honesty. I've not done a PowerPoint since college, and that was not my, I talk all day long. So yes, I did that, so I'm just glad I made it through. I'm just glad I made it through.
Everybody one more time for Monica. Oh, does everybody else have questions besides in the front row? I'm just giving you crap, don't. Look, and I'm 3 drinks in, so now I'm really fucking funny. Go ahead, what's your question?
So, when you're having an especially bad day, to have an attitude of gratitude. So, it's like you're upset about what you don't have. What is a tip that we can pivot to the attitude of gratitude for what we do have?
Tips for attitude of gratitude. And everybody after this question, just remember, be concise. Please, for me. Tips for attitude of gratitude.
Perfect. No, I love that question. And so how do you make the shift? And I will say, for gratitude, that consistency gives you the cumulative effect, right? So little changes, right? So some people start out with 3 things on their list. But what happens is you continue to change your attitude. It gives you a paradigm shift as you're working through your gratitude every day. So I know for me, I'm much more quick at responding to situations and looking at the good in it. And so, for example, like now when I see that picture of my grad student, that was perfect timing. So now when I see that, instead of having, and I still, grief, right? It runs in different ways. But now instead of seeing that, and trust me, I had one really good deep cry and it cleansed my soul. But when I see that now, I'm like, you know what? My grad student, he was one of the greatest loves of my life. What a gift that is. Now, did that happen at once? No. And again, so you remember, I'm the one, I'm like, give me the syllabus, I will get an A+. What do I need to do? But what I recognize is life is not like that, right? So it's a process and it's a journey. And so the simple way of starting that list at nighttime, just to start it, and to sit down and think about your day, I think is the most powerful step. And if you make a practice of it, then you'll notice, because you're thinking throughout the day, oh, how am I gonna put this on my list? Or maybe it is something that's just not so good and you have to do a backhanded gratitude a little bit. But slowly but surely it starts to change your paradigm, your mindset, so you start seeing things differently. But it's a journey. But I'm so grateful, like I chose to do that. It's the biggest, there were times I was like, oh my gosh, this is a job, right? I mean, that's 100% honest. But, I mean, now here I am, 1,033 later, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, this is a part of me. Now I see my kids doing it now. It's such a gift. So it's made a huge difference. I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
In the back, and then we'll come to you, AJ.
What was the name of the app that you started on?
And I was wanting to ask that question too. What is the name of the app that you started on?
Yep. Gratitude app. And so they have yep. And so there's a free version also. And I love it because, as you can tell, I love pictures. So you can have like pictures and stuff and do a collage, but like you can do a note in your phone. Some people I do have one person I exchange with, they prefer to write theirs out and just take a picture of it and send it. So it's like no wrong way to do it, but that gratitude app is super fun. You can make, some friends, they put like 20 pictures, whatever for that day. Some people put a lot of pictures. I like to make a little picture collage to use that to kind of document. So now what I have is all these, it's my story essentially, right? In a way. All of these gratitude journals, and sometimes, it's all of it. And what a gift. And let me say this about it too. The people I exchange with, nobody's calling me, asking me questions. Again, it's a safe space. Nobody's doing that. We're exchanging, but it's a safe place for you to just share where you are. We can check in with each other, but nobody's ever gonna be like, oh, what'd you put that down there for? Why'd you say it like that? That's not what that is for us. And so that's been really, really good, really healthy.
AJ, I seen you, but is there any other people with questions? Trying to catch people on one too. All right, cool. Yeah. Go ahead, AJ.
Oh.
What are you grateful for today?
Lord, I'm grateful. Oh, so many things. So many things. Where do I start? Woo, I'm grateful today. Today was a really, really long day. And I'm grateful that and this is the difference, right, that is in me. My friend can attest to this. It's been a lot going on today. And so instead, I just kind of leaned into it. So I'm grateful that I made a choice, and that's what gratitude has done for me. It's given me a shift. I've always been like, you just show up where you are and do the best you can, right? But I'm living differently and more consciously. So like today, it enables me to pause, and I've had to take a couple of pauses. But I just said, you know what? All right, I'm doing this today. I'm doing things that make me not so comfortable, that are maybe outside of my comfort zone, and I'm going to lean into it. And I'm grateful that I did that, and I'm grateful that I'm letting go. Like my kids, they walked themselves to school for the second day today this morning, and what a gift that is. So that is that's me growing, trusting the process. Thank you for asking.
And I know my eyes have been wandering while I was sitting here, because I thought the same thing. I was like, damn, what am I grateful for? Because I got some shit going on right now. And I am grateful, and I want to answer the question too. Damn. I am grateful for the fact that as crazy as this is gonna sound to everybody, I'm gonna put my personal business out there. But I just had to cut some people off. Sometimes you just got to cut people off and just be like, no, you're gonna keep the negative energy to yourself. And it's not gonna come, even if it's my mama. Mama, you got to go. Because the negative energy ain't coming back to me. You feel me, right? You feel me.
She's like, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Question. Yes.
My question is, can you walk us through your self-talk when you experience something that is negative to shift to attitude, right?
Wee.
Did you hear that one? Because I can't repeat that. I got to walk away.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's deep. And I will tell you, there's a lot of stuff in my story I cannot tell you, but I will. Because baby, honey. So I'm talking about deep trauma and stuff, to be honest, right? There's been a lot of stuff that's been not ideal, because I want a fairy tale, so it's been the opposite. What would be the opposite of fairy tale? What would you call that story? Thank you. Okay, right there, a nightmare. So in the midst of this, right? In the midst of it, it's looked different along the journey, right, for me. And so, listen, get you some therapy if you need it, emotional support. Sometimes people need more than a therapist once a week or what have you. Groups that are available for whatever concerns or needs you have are important, they're imperative. And then people who understand what you're going through, who really understand, right? We don't understand everything about each other, right, depending on our experiences, but people who understand what you're going through. So at one point in my journey, I was making multiple calls per day to people to give me support that I needed. Even in the midst of starting my gratitude practice, today, I had to do some I call it text support. I had to do some text support last weekend, and I was like, yo, I'm strong, but I just need to make sure I'm not the crazy one here. Listen, look at this. This is 100%. And I'm like, okay, good. And one thing to be grateful for is that support where people can understand you and see you where you are. And so for me, depending on where I was in my journey, it's looking at those tools, right? You gotta have a tool bag of tools to take care of yourself, to do what's best for you. Today it looks different for me, but having that support and again, that connection in the community, whatever that looks like for you, but to know that it's there. And to me, it's that every day on a consistent basis. Because we all have stuff that you know what I mean? We all have stuff, but it's that consistency. And so tonight, I'll write my gratitude list. And I'll start off with my affirmation, like I always do. And I'll just kind of go through the day. And today will be one of those really big days. But to your point also, Vaughn, it is putting every single little detail. I'm grateful that today I spoke up for myself. I'm grateful that today I went into the bathroom and I cried because I needed that. I'm grateful today that, my friend came out with me today. It's whatever it is. Hey, I'm grateful I, got to chill out at home by myself. Whatever it is, wherever you are, it's okay. And so acknowledging those things and just having the right tool bag and the right support. Is that helpful to you? Yeah, for whatever you need. That way you can build that community and have that support. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I am grateful that Roku decided to tap out now and not during the presentations. I mean, I am grateful that we was able to get through today with all the technical difficulties and everybody still stayed and supported. I'm literally grateful that I just realized that, damn, the computer wasn't even plugged in the whole time and stayed charged. And everybody's still here for this. This is awesome. Is there two more questions? One more question? Good.
She said, as a motherless child, how are you able to find the gratitude in your loss? Again, remember, I've embraced the journey. And this is 100% honest, and I will say, because some people aren't, I'm a nerd, I'm a deep thinker. My daughter, my 9-year-old, she said, Mom, she's a doll. She's like the most commercial nerd you ever had. Like, she's like doctor, I'm not doctor smart, but she's like engineer, doctor smart. She said, Mom, I'm a nerd. She's like, are you a nerd? I was like, girl, I'm this intellectual, deep thinker, right? And the journey of my mom passing away and not being here, and talking about it a lot, thinking about it a lot, I can honestly say my mom not being here physically, because she could never do the things most moms could do for me, right? She couldn't take me anywhere. However, now I feel her presence so much. So for me, it is such an interesting shift in the energies, because I feel her presence. I see her in especially my younger one. I see and it's like they didn't have her for very long, but I see things in them. And then I notice things. One thing that did start happening, because I'm a feeler, I'm intuitive, all that good stuff. When I started going through my breast cancer journey, because my mom went through it too, both my grandmothers, this heart rock showed up. And I just started to see them. And it was my first sign from my mom that she was with me on my journey, and this was her way of nurturing me. And so what I will say is, if you've not had a mom, everybody's process is different, right? When it comes to grief, when it comes to acceptance. I've learned over the last 5 years that some shit, you just gotta sit in it. And you gotta feel it. And you gave birth to a child, you've had that privilege, that colostrum when they're first born, that shit that won't come off, you know what I mean? Sometimes it feels like that. But what I know is when I make a choice and I have support to sit in it, and I feel it, and today I felt freaking uncomfortable through some situations. But what I know is I can sit in it, I can feel it, and then I can move through, because some things, the only way to get through them is literally to get through them. And to be kind and compassionate to yourself, right? And there's lots of resources and tools for reparenting out there, but just to feel it, but to get the support you need, because everybody knows, there's all sorts of tools, just like the skincare, AJ. There's all sorts of tools out there. You have to figure out what's conducive for you, what will work for you and be beneficial, and what will help you unravel your process in dealing and accepting and working your way through the grief. I hope that's helpful. But you're not alone. And that's the thing too, I am kind of a unicorn, I have unique qualities. However, anything I've gone through, I'm not the only one. And you're not either. And that's the gift of that gratitude exchange. Get you some gratitude buddies. I'm telling you what, if you need some support, I dare you tonight to text a friend. Yo, you want to start doing a little, gratitude list? It doesn't have to be extravagant, but get you some buddies so you know that you're not alone. Yeah.
Everybody give a round of applause for Monica. For whatever reason, like I said, Roku is not connecting to the computer right now, which is oh shit. Thank you God it happened now and not during the presentation. HDMI didn't work on my computer earlier. It's my computer's fault. It's not HDMI, but it's my computer. Roku worked all the way up until you started Q&A, which is yes. at Q&A, we can all just watch all the different things that they have, like all the different apps, and not like the pictures, because I mean, like, damn. But this has been Nerd Night, September. We have another one coming up in October. It's going to, of course, be, and this is why I wish this damn thing was working, but I'm gonna figure that out. It's Halloween themed, so please come dressed in your costumes. You can dress like a dork if you feel like it. I'm gonna try to figure my stuff out too. But whatever the costume is, be sure to come out like that. I can talk about one of my presenters that I think is really, really dope. I can't tell you who, but you guys will see that if you're following on Instagram. But it's astrology and like witchy stuff. So of course, be here for October when we do Nerd Night. But until then, peace, love, and have fun. Thank you.